right? This one is from Soul Token. What is our greatest power to defeat the elites? What is their greatest weakness? So at the end of the day, I think that we need a twofold system. I think that we have to go, we have laws on the books that would put Bill Gates in jail, people like Anthony Fauci in jail, various different, probably most of the people that go to Davos or Bilderberg in jail. We already have a system where these people are already doing things that are illegal. What's happening is we're not following through, and it is corrupt to the core. I'm not going to dance around that anymore. I actually think that's something that we need to do, is to stop dancing around this and just, say it for what it is. Okay, it's extremely corrupt. And so we have to use the system that we have and try to hold the system that we have accountable, and to start to cut off some of the heads of the Hydra. If people have committed a crime, we need to hold them accountable for it. So we need to start going for the Achilles heel and pushing for these people to be arrested, pushing for these people to go through the justice system that exists. We have laws and codes on the books where much of the stuff that's happened in the last year is completely illegal. So we need to start going through and pushing that process and working together to push that through. This is the very real practical stuff that we need to do. We can't get distracted. And we have to understand that as we're doing this, as we're coming together to try to use the system that we have, we also have to understand that there's going to be lots of different cards that could be played. There could be, there's various different types of hacks that could occur that could affect different parts of society. There's UFO ops, there's various different cards that these individuals will play to not get caught. So we also have to understand that that's part of it as well. But their greatest weakness is that this is, at the end of the day, this is a spiritual battle, and it's an energy battle. And that's the part that a lot of people forget. And so their greatest weakness is that they need us. They need you. They're parasites. They can't live on their own. These are extremely sick, parasitic people. They're not the kind of people that can survive on their own. They have massive, elaborate systems and ways of life because they're so weak. Make no mistake. They're parasites. Part of how they parasitically attach to humanity and live off of it is by keeping humanity in fear. Keeping humanity in survivalism, keeping their brain in a fast, quick moving state and never getting into the deeper levels of the observer, connecting with the soul. So they try to keep us constantly afraid. When is the next event happening? When is the food shortage? When is the, we're living in fear. They need us to be afraid to the point that we are paralyzed. And through attrition, they'll begin to remove more and more of our sovereignty and more of our rights until they can do larger events that distract us enough so they can, control even more. So their greatest weakness is that they need us. So let's change our energy. Let's wake up. Spiritual energy, like peace, like love, is like poison to them. They're like, they'll immediately recoil. They're possessed as well. We have to understand what spiritual possession is. Okay? So their greatest weakness is that they need us. And so our power to defeat the elites is to not allow fear to consume us, to have a meditation practice, to go into our heart, To not get funneled into news story after news story after news story that makes our blood boil, that makes our body tense. Take control of your energy. Take control of your mind. This is a spiritual battle and it's a vibrational battle. Only cowards live on other people. Great leaders, great teachers contribute to society. They take nothing for themselves until society is lifted a little bit. Gray. How do you deal with the COVID vaccine becoming mandatory? So I feel like I'm saying the V word, and I feel like I'm just going to get thrown in the bad bin even more, but I don't care. I just find it so weird to be like, the V, and to like hide our language around that. It just shows how grossly censored we are, that I have to not say a word in like a live stream. Anyway. How do you deal with the COVID vaccine becoming mandatory? It's mandatory that all students returning to my university get vaccinated, and there's really no way to waiver it, and I don't want to get it. So I don't have a big spiritual equation for you guys on this. I can just tell you what I would do, and you have to make your decision based on where you are and what you want to do. There's nothing that would ever make me get this vaccine. There's nothing. I will never get this vaccine. I'm not getting it. I don't care. I don't care what you take away from me. I'm not getting it. I do not support tyranny or any of our sovereignties being removed, and I will not have it. I will not participate, and I will not get it. And I will push against it with every aspect of my being. Period. That's where I am with it personally, and that's it for me. I understand that other people may not be in that position, but it is up to every person individually. For me, this is an issue of sovereignty, and this is an attrition of our rights, and it will not stop here. The faster that we put the brakes on this, the faster that we push back, the better. It's not going to stop here with this one mandate, with this one vaccine. There's going to be more. The room is going to keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And you know what? It's better if we just push back now. I don't believe that the forces that are pushing this are going to become more lax. I believe they're going to become more extreme. So for me, it's a big no. I'll go live out of a tent somewhere and, forage my food then. That is what I will go and do, because I will not be forced into that. I will not be forced into getting something into my body that I don't want. So that's just where I am with it. I respect anybody else's opinion on it, but that's where I am, and all I can really tell you is where I am and what I would do. And it's up to you to decide what's best for you, for your family. I don't want to encroach on that. I don't want to tell anybody what to do. I think that we're dangling on a very precarious level in society where we literally have the potential to move back, thousands of years. And I just think it's very important that we just say no and that we resist. And I think the earlier that we do it, the better. It's wrong. It is wrong for a school to say to you, for a virus that has a 99.9% survival rate, that you have to get an experimental vaccine. That is insanity. That's insane. And we need to wake up to this and start calling it out for what it is. So that is just my stance. Again, it's up to you. I have a very strict stance with it, and that's where I'll leave it.